showing is that there's a decline for buy-to-let mortgages and an increase for first-time buyers. Okay, yeah, buy-to-let, the whole mortgage lending is still an increase. And that's essentially the way that the government and the market is likely that buy-to-let is increasing slowly. It's obviously changing away from buy-to-let landlords. Okay, so the buy-to-let mortgage lending declined to 12.5% for quarter of 2018. That's the lowest for 6 years. At the height of a recession, almost. So legislative changes to support the first-time buyer is deliberately to disadvantage the second property owners, and that includes the landlords. And they've done this with tax changes, the rental tax on the rental income, stamp duty, increased regulation on buy-to-lets. We've got the rental assessment, tougher rental assessment, and increased checks for portfolio landlords. Lenders are now typically looking at evidence of rental income seen in a bank statement, evidence of rental being declared to HMRC. So there's a lot more checks. It's a lot harder to, well, not harder, but there's a lot more details a lender wants when assessing an application for a portfolio landlord. So in 2018, there's more lenders we've seen come to the mortgage marketplace, and they've gone after limited company mortgages. So even though buy-to-let lending is going down, there's still new lenders coming for limited company mortgages because there's a margin there at the moment. Now, the existing lenders like Tim Mortgage Works have now decided to lend to limited companies, which they haven't done in about 8 years. So there's more and more shifts towards limited company mortgages. Mortgage lenders getting their banking licence. This is a change from 10 years ago. Metro Bank was the first bank in 100 years to get their banking licence. A few years ago, Aldermore, Shawbrook, and last year Paragon Bank got their banking licence. It means they can fund different mortgages that they otherwise couldn't lend because they couldn't sell that quick on to securitise. And obviously, there's peer-to-peer lending. It's a lot more to do with short-term funding. People here for the previous presentation, more to do with short-term funding, bridging finance. It's a growing marketplace. There's a lender called Landbay that develops out peer-to-peer lending. So it's one to watch. Okay. So tax. Most people are tax associated with mortgage. I'm just going to cover the very basic. Please get tax advice. I'm just pointing out the obvious here. So the tax changes that's happened is there's the Section 24, the tax on rental income. So as from now, you can't offset 75% of your mortgage payment against your rental income in your own name. You've got the additional 3% stamp duty for second property purchases, in addition to stamp duty. Wear and tear allowance has gone for any experienced landlord. It's something that they relies on every year. Capital gains tax, it's 18% and 28% for high rate taxpayers at the moment. Okay, so mortgage lending and tax advice. So the tax advisor, I'm speaking to various tax advisors today, they might well, what they're proposing might well be legal, and I'm not disputing that, and the bank's not disputing that, but the banks have got their own tax advisors, and if they feel what you're being advised, or another tax advisor being advised is high risk, then they're simply not going to lend on the mortgage. Now, the top 5 tax strategies that I've come up against in the last 2 years, first one's beneficial interest company transfers, where you have property in your own name, your own legal name, and you transfer the beneficial interest into a limited company and pay the tax in a limited company. There's more complex tax advice for hybrid or mixed partnerships. Individual owners leasing the property to a limited company. So they're a legal owner and they pay themselves a lease as opposed to rent. Individual owners have an AST with the tenants in their own name, so more lenders like this. So the legal owner has the AST in their own name, but the rent is paid to a limited company. This is broken down in 2 camps. So when the majority of rent is kept in a limited company, or as opposed to where the majority of the rent is paid to the legal owner. Typically, like you'd have a managing agent paying the majority of the rent to the owner, the landlord, and keeping 10-15% as a management charge. And the last tax strategy that I'm seeing more of is incorporation of property business. I'm sure there's lots more out there. Now, those 5 tax strategies, I surveyed all the buy-to-let lenders that I deal with, which is most of the market, and in January this year, to get their response, because I keep hearing from tax advisors and clients come to me saying, oh, it's fine, they said don't tell the lender, or the lender won't know, or the lender's all right with it, and the The result, which I knew was the case, because I come up against a lot of no's and a lot of arguments with tax advisors. Most of the tax advisors, the top 5 that I'm seeing, most of them, the lenders won't lend against. And I mean, if we can have a look at, okay, there's a few lenders that will lend on some of the complex things. In a few years' time, if them lenders are not around anymore, what lenders have we got? What choices are there? So, incorporation of a business where you've got 10 properties in your own name, move it to a limited company. A lot of tax advisors I speak to and the lenders are absolutely fine with that. The majority of when you rent a property to a limited company and the limited company keeps a little bit of that as a management agent, so it's all traditional. It's all you incorporate a business into a limited company. Then you take tax relief on that. You're paying a percentage towards a managing company. That's quite typical. Anything that's outside that box, the lenders just feel that it's a little bit risky, and you're doing it for some tax avoidance, let's say. But that's HMRC. It's not proven. It's high risk. It's highly debatable. It's up to HMRC to do some test cases. Really, time will tell, honestly. So, is a tax advice mortgageable? There's loads of tax schemes out there. Every lender, it's always evolving, and the lenders are evolving. All I'll say, before you take any tax advice, give it to me, send me what the tax advice is proposing. I can send it to a couple of lenders, and they'll confirm whether they will lend against it. I get it all the time where it's happened, the tax advice has happened, we find out later, there's been valuation fee paid, that the tax advice has been paid, and the lender says no. And then I get an argument against the tax advisor and the client saying, well, why won't they lend? And if they were told up front, and we knew about it up front, then it might save a lot of time and money. Okay? But the lender won't find out. Again, typical response I get from people, usually coached by people, not always tax advisors, but like online chat rooms and forums says, don't tell the lender, they don't answer, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, they typically do find out, not always. As I mentioned earlier, there's a new regulation now that's just checking bank statements, checking rental income, checking what's declared HMRC, and chances are you argue they're going to get found out. I say, don't lie or knowingly lie or not disclose information on application. You're the one with the agreement with the lender. You're the one that's going to have that contract potentially for 5 or 25 years. It's your signature on that contract. Okay, I'm going to pass you over to Jason from Paddock Bank to give it a bit about this from the bank point of view.